Hi there, this is Julia Malloy, business expert for the design industry. Hope you're doing great today. We're on day 16. We are really close to finishing our 20 days to get organized. And I hope you're following along and keeping pace and have downloaded all the documents that I am gifting you thus far. Eventually, I will be posting all of these online as a complete program to get organized, and there will be a cost associated with that. So enjoy the free docs for this period while it lasts. Okay. Today we're going to be talking about PO files and folders, that kind of organizing your POs, and this is a highly contentious area, actually. Not always, but it can be. So a lot of people keep just digital files, and if you're running Studio Designer, Design Docs, Design Manager, probably even Ivy, this is easy to keep digital because it's just in the system. I am I'm a proponent of keeping hard copies in a file, but it is not necessary these days. It's just I think I just feel more comfortable knowing that there's a printed version somewhere in case, an asteroid hits something and, knocks out all the digital, whatever. I don't know. I'm probably paranoid, but I just like having a printed version, and I like being able to tangibly look at things and flip the page and just see it right there, right? I just like that. So if you're one of those people, then obviously you're already keeping printed versions of your purchase orders in some format. And a lot of times, especially with small firms, so this is kind of the system. Small firms, it's just you, maybe one other person helping you. Generally speaking, what I see is you keep the item together. So it's not only the order, it's the tear sheet, it's the proposal, the order, the invoice, everything associated with that item is kept all together in a pack. While you are a sole proprietor, that works. But as soon as you start scaling your firm to be more of a boutique firm, meaning you have an admin expediter and you have a junior helping you, one of the things that you will need to do is separate out your POs from your proposals and invoices. So client facing goes in one area and PO goes in another, mainly because two different people in your office are using them, and they serve two completely different purposes, and they have two completely different billing cycles and payment cycles associated with them. So it doesn't make as much sense to keep them in the same spot anymore, because it's not based on your memory, which I know is amazing. Designers have the most amazing memory of any group of people that I actually have ever come across. It's pretty astounding. So, but when you're maturing your firm and creating a system that will function without you, then you are not relying on your memory, you're relying on the system. The system functions better when you have purchase orders that can be kept and managed and utilized by the admin expediter, and have the proposals and invoices and client specs and those kinds of things with the design team where they need it, okay, for reference. So I recommend having a file for each client called client name POs, Smith POs, okay, let's just say. So as soon as a PO is created, then you put that PO in or in numerical order rather, most recent up front, okay, and any supporting document associated with that purchase order goes with it. So it becomes a PO pack. Okay, so that means you have your PO, okay, and you put it in there, all right? This is like that admin expediter. The expediter is managing the PO. They're filing it. They're in charge of the POs, okay? And when the acknowledgement comes, the next piece of documentation that comes in from the vendor, you know how you get like 10 pieces of documentation from the vendor on an order? They all go behind the PO. So you take the next, we got the acknowledgement in the mail. Okay, I'm going to put it behind the PO. Okay, and the next piece, the next invoice, the next whatever, always goes behind the purchase order. So I can, and if there's a new version of a purchase order, let's say it has to get revised, or they're, they updated their shipping or whatever. Usually there's two versions of the PO, and even if you make a couple payments, most recent payment, the total due, it changes. So the most recent version of your PO goes on top. Okay. The most recent thing that came into you from the vendor goes on the bottom. So at any given time, you can pull that PO pack and see the most recent copy of the PO. The last piece of paper is going to be the most recent thing you received from the vendor. And when you make payments, if you're doing it with a check, I recommend on the check, you staple the check to the bottom of the PO that it was paid on. So you've got the check stub right there if you're doing 3-part checks. If it's a credit card receipt, then you staple it to it. So you've got payment on the PO itself. So it's really helpful. You can pull it out and you can see everything that's going on in order, just right in front of you. Also, another little note, I have more guidance on that in the business blueprint and with my coaching, but I can say that sometimes I find that you guys put the POs in different spots. So that is kind of like status oriented locality. So you have to kind of know what the status is in order to know where it is. And when you, again, are a sole proprietor and you have like this genius memory that you guys do, that's fine because oh yeah, I placed the order on that, or I haven't paid that yet, or whatever. So it's kind of easy for you to track that, although I would love for you to get rid of that mental clutter and be able to use that capacity for other things. But when you are running a boutique model firm and beyond, you absolutely cannot do that. It has to be in order by PO number. So usually the person pulling files and filing things back in is the person that is probably least informed about that item. Like, I don't want the designers filing, I don't want you filing, I want the juniors filing, and I want the admin expediter and the office manager filing. So they know the least about the status probably, right? So that doesn't help them. What you want to do is let them be able to source it by the actual number, because everyone's going to be able to know the number. The PO number is easy to find. It's in Studio. It's in your system somewhere, right? Not hard to find. Anyone with any level of knowledge can find that PO no matter what. Okay. Now, to solve the problem that that you're addressing when you do the location thing, is you want to know, was it ordered, or more likely, was it paid? Is it paid in full, kind of thing? So one of the little tricks that I have, it works so great, it's so low tech, it's ridiculous. But you know how you have a folder of your POs, and I'm going to just do an example right here. Okay, let's pretend this is my Smith POs, okay? Do you see that little tab sticking up? That means it's not paid in full yet. Okay? And it's just a little Post-it note tab. Okay? I like them red. Okay, so you buy those, whatever color, it really doesn't matter. And you stick it on any PO that is not paid. Has a little tab on here. As soon as it's paid in full, you pull it off. So what that does, while still keeping all your POs in the exact same place, in the exact same order, you can look at this and see how many POs are still open. Because there's only, well, in this case, if this is real, we have one PO that still has a balance on it. Oh, great. And here it is. So it makes it super easy, quick and easy to maintain. I mean, obviously, all of this stuff can be looked up online, but if you're keeping digital or tangible files, you kind of need to know some things looking at it that serves the purpose of having a tangible document. Okay, so anyway, that is my little trick on your POs and keeping those organized. Again, the design team keeps the client facing stuff, and the expediter keeps the vendor facing things. aka POs. So they're managing all of those. It should be in an area, your file should be in an area where everyone can have access to them from any boutique model firm. Certainly when you get to the point of having a full-on procurement manager in your firm, then maybe not so much. Certainly if you're doing commercial, probably not so much. But generally speaking, for the purposes of this series, I'm focusing mostly on boutique model firms. You do want to keep it in a place where everyone can have access to it, because sometimes a designer does need to pull a PO. Okay, so anyway, that's that. I know this is a long one, but it's important. Okay, if you need to keep it digital, you kind of do the same type of thing, but keep it in files on your computer, or the systems keep the digital versions of those with their statuses right there. But for those of you who need paper like I do, then this system will work really well. All right, enjoy that, and I will see you next time. Until next time, be bold, my friends. Be bold.